Hey guys, JJ here, and I finally had some real hands-on time with Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Today I want to share my early spoiler-free impressions after spending some time with both Grace and Leon's sections. So with that being said, let's get right into it. I had the chance to go hands-on with Resident Evil Requiem myself. Before I get into my first impressions, I want to make it clear that this video is completely spoiler-free. I actually stopped playing early because I wanted to save the majority of the experience and the bigger moments for the live stream with you guys, but I feel like I saw enough to share my honest first impressions. Before we begin, if you enjoy this review, please leave a like. Also, let me know down below in the comments if you would like to see me do a full spoiler review after release. Alright, so let's get into it. Resident Evil is no stranger to evolving its formula, and Requiem feels like another big swing for the series. Right away you can tell Capcom is trying to blend multiple playstyles into one experience, and whether that works for you is probably going to depend on what you personally want from a Resident Evil game. Switching between Grace and Leon works, but it really does feel like two completely different games in one. I'd find myself getting invested in one character's story, only to switch perspectives and have to wait to see what happens next. That said, the transitions themselves are handled well, and the game does a solid job moving between the two. From a visual standpoint, this is hands down the best a Resident Evil game has ever looked. The Wrenwood Hotel, Road Hill Chronic Care Center, and the surrounding city streets all have strong atmosphere. Exploring these spaces has honestly been one of my favorite parts so far. The lighting, environmental detail, and little world building touches really makes the locations you explore all the more interesting. The music also complements the tone well without overpowering the experience. I would compare it to previous entries like Resident Evil 7 or Village, more of an ambiance than the dramatic overlaid music of the classic games. Two themes that really stood out, the new and relaxing save room theme, which I'll play for you right now. The next theme we have is Leon's theme. It reminds me of something from the movie 7, which the game is inspired by, so it makes sense. Here, take a listen to that. Now let's move into the story so far. It's very much like what you've seen in the trailers. Grace is captured by Gideon, and Leon is investigating the murders at the Wrenwood Hotel, which leads their stories to colliding. I really don't want to give away anything other than that, but I will say I'm enjoying it so far, and it has me interested. I really like Victor Gideon as an enemy. He's more of a threat than the trailers have let on, and I'll leave it at that. Structurally, the opening of the game feels very similar to Resident Evil 7 and Village. The early portion is more cinematic, kind of like a playable cutscene that introduces you to the characters and controls before the real meat of the game begins once Grace and Leon reach Road Hill. Let's start with Grace's gameplay because that's where the real survival horror DNA really kicks in, and honestly my preferred portion of the game. Her section in Road Hill opens up a lot like the RPD from Resident Evil 2, and honestly, that was my favorite part of what I played. Stealth is heavily encouraged, but not always required. Learning enemy patterns feels essential, and careful route planning becomes a big part of survival. The fun thing is, you can kind of go about this however you prefer. It feels less linear and more like the classic style of Resident Evil locations. The enemy AI systems make the game feel almost like a survival horror sandbox. You can lead enemies into different rooms, create chaotic situations, or accidentally make things way harder for yourself. At one point, I led the butcher enemy into a room with the blister head, while my only other path was blocked upstairs by the singing zombie. Moments like that force you to really think about your decisions. At first, I wasn't completely sold on the smart zombies. Moments almost felt more comedic than scary. It's as if I was trapped in a loony bin and the residents have taken over the facility. Zombies making odd noises, arguing with each other, doing goofy things like grabbing the chainsaw and just bumping into everything. It was silly. It wasn't until I realized that their intelligence really adds to each area of the game when you slow down and watch their behavior patterns. Then I found a new appreciation for them. They definitely are a threat and can move in ways and patterns that make it difficult to get from one area to the other. Also, depending on the type of zombies you have grouped together, can really alter the difficulty of the game. So take your time when you're moving through Road Hill. Moving into the variety of enemies, The Blisterhead zombie is a pretty intense addition. Watching it stand up, twist and mutate until its head bursts into a bubbly mess with exposed teeth is a strong visual moment. I wouldn't say they're as terrifying as Crimson Heads, but they're definitely memorable and I'm glad Capcom added them. It's just another gameplay mechanic to take into consideration when traversing. There is also a large chef zombie that acts almost like Mr. X. He patrols areas of the care center rather than constantly chasing you, and if you lead him into a new space, he'll start patrolling there instead. They also have a singing zombie, which at first sounded like weird dolphin noises, but as I listened to it, it was beautiful and sad and quickly distorted into ominous reverbs throughout the halls. The game definitely has a style with the zombies, and again it kind of feels like the residents have taken over the loony bin, but not in a bad way. Now let's talk puzzles and exploration. There's a nice variety here. Upgrades require solving a DNA puzzle on the computer, which isn't overly difficult, but it's a fun little brain exercise. Other puzzles like the sun, star, and moon puzzle require exploring rooms and studying photos to piece together solutions. There's also items with puzzles that you have to search for notes in order to solve. In the short amount of time I played, I genuinely enjoyed the puzzle design and am looking forward to more. It's already had more puzzles than the entirety of the Resident Evil 3 remake. Another interesting addition is the Parlor, where you can unlock perks using antique coins. It has a full bar setup, unlockable cabinets, and even a roulette table. Right now, it feels like there might be more planned for it, maybe even a gambling mechanic. Because you can spin the roulette wheel, nothing major happens though. Also, it's not a safe room. Enemies can enter if you bring them there. I do like this way of upgrading, and it feels very much like Resident Evil 7's upgrade system. It's a way around having a traveling merchant. There's also a lot of cool environmental details. At one point, a bulldozer crashed through the wall coming straight at Grace, and later I noticed a sign showing a garbage disposal was scheduled during the game's timeline. Little touches like this really help sell the world. Now switching over to Leon's gameplay, and this is where things feel a little different. His introduction honestly is awesome. This is by far the coolest they have ever made Leon look in a game. The city at night, rain pouring down, people running throughout the streets during an outbreak, cars crashing everywhere, while Leon is cool, calm, and collective, and effortlessly taking out zombies. It sets the tone for Leon incredibly well. Leon himself feels stoic and efficient, which reminds me a lot of John Wick, but he also still keeps that Leon sarcasm and those quick one-liners. His gameplay leans heavily into run-and-gun combat and melee combos. It's flashy, smooth, and a lot of fun, but honestly feels closer to Resident Evil 4 Remake's Mercenaries mode. The game loads you up with ammo and health, and his sections serve as a nice pacing break between Grace's slower, more traditional survival horror moments. While I personally enjoy following the story from Leon's perspective, since he is my favorite character in the Resident Evil series, when it comes to that classic style survival horror experience, I actually preferred Grace's sections. I could honestly go on, but I really want to avoid anything that could come off as a spoiler, and I didn't play a whole lot of the game. I'm saving it for the stream with you guys. Overall, I'm having a lot of fun with Requiem so far, and I see a lot of potential. The gameplay feels smooth, the environments are strong, and exploring has been incredibly enjoyable. It hasn't fully blown me away yet, but I'm definitely curious to see how my thoughts evolve as I continue playing. If you made it this far into the video, let me know your thoughts down below. Are you excited for Resident Evil 9 Requiem? Do you like the idea of two different gameplay styles in one game? What are you looking forward to most from Requiem? Let us know down below in the comments and let's have a discussion about it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And for our live stream of Resident Evil Requiem, make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you can join us. Now, a quick word from our sponsor.
Real quick, I want to tell you about our sponsor, Green Man Gaming. If you're planning on picking up Resident Evil Requiem on PC, this is honestly the best way to do it. Right now, Green Man Gaming is offering 18% off Resident Evil Requiem, the Standard Edition, and the Deluxe Edition for Steam. If you go with the Deluxe Edition, you're getting a ton of extra content, including multiple costumes, filters, weapon skins, charms, the Raccoon City Classic Audio Pack, and bonus files like letters from 1998. On top of that, any pre-purchase also comes with an extra costume for Grace, so you're getting even more for just locking it in early. What I I personally like about Green Man Gaming is they are 100% an official PC games retailer. They work directly with over 1,300 publishers and developers, so when you buy through them, you're still fully supporting the devs. You're just saving money at the same time. And if you've never used Green Man Gaming before, it's really easy. You purchase a key that you can then redeem on Steam, so all your games are in one place. If you want to grab Resident Evil Requiem for PC right now and save 18%, make sure to use the affiliate link in the description. It helps support the channel and gets you the best deal at the same time. So what are you waiting for? If you're gonna buy it anyways, you might as well save some money.
As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we hope to see you back at the Resident of Evil.